Hail, hail, the Celts are here. And what the hell do we care tonight, guys? We are welcoming in Roma to paradise. The team sheets are out, and there's kind of one headline, and one headline from it only, I suppose. Fist bumps to all on arrival. Buckle up as we get ready for match day 6 of the Europa League at home at paradise under the floodlights. A typically Scottish night, nice and windy and rainy, and everybody's got their scarves and their hats on, no doubt. Players will be out on the pitch just getting ready for the game. And Wilfried Nancy names an unchanged side. It's the same team that went out against Hearts. And hey, it was a distinct possibility coming into this game that we would see no changes. Glancing at the bench, I don't see any changes on there either. It's the exact same team from top to bottom. The manager had some really interesting comments pre-match talking about how he had a few good sessions under his belt and how it was really nice to hear him. Like, he didn't really go through the repertoire of training practices he has, but he did reference certainly different styles of sessions, different types of sessions, and how he's prioritizing what ones to use and try and get the team up to speed as quickly as possible. And he was quite pleased with the level that, again, we've tried to highlight ahead of time, ahead of the crowd here on the channel, is that Wilfried Nancy has never had a team as good as this. You know, he's used to doing these drills with Montreal and Columbus Crew, and all good respect to those guys and all the rest of it. But they've got 2 or 3 guys on the level of basically the entire team. And Nancy was very, very pleased and very, he's excited about the game tonight. He was pleased with the quality that the players brought to training. And hopefully spirits are high, everyone's on the front foot. And, we can kind of move away from the Hearts game quite quickly. And this game, again, we said it on the preview, there's no way you can ever think about this as a free hit. Wilfried Nancy has no such thing. He's only just fresh in the door. Morale, output, progression, developments in game, sentiment, all of these things are very much up for grabs, up in the air, and there's no free element around this, so certainly a game that, the result isn't necessarily, like the be all and end all of this one, to paraphrase even the manager, I suppose. But we need to see, we need to see improvement from Hearts. Can we get that kind of good performance, get into the 60th, the 80th minute of the game, or even the whole game would be great. Obviously, can we take some of those chances and, make it much more of a contest, make it something we're a bit more familiar with? But really interesting to see. We'll have a wee peek at the tactics board in a moment. I'll go and double check the Roma team as well, because we've not had a peek at that yet. And we'll get some thoughts and feelings from you guys in the chat. Good to see you all. It's been a busy, busy week here on the channel. Glad to see you all enjoyed the collab that we had out on Monday with Duco James and Alan, Celtic by Numbers Morrison's, over on the channel we had on Monday. No, we recorded it Monday. Sorry, I beg your pardon. You guys got it on Tuesday evening. Sorry, I'll just remember what I'm searching for here. It's AS Roma. We want to have a wee peek at their team, see what they're up to tonight. Have they got like a video or something stupid like that? They might, by the way. Oh, no, they don't. They've got a video of them arriving. They've just not got their team sheet out yet. Lazy buggers. So we'll watch out for that. The boys are in town, but Leon Bailey, Gianluca Mancini's there. Is that Angelino? No, I don't think it was. Yeah. Manu Kone. Where's Dybala? Didn't see Dybala. Ooh, didn't see Dybala. You'd think the camera. Oh, no, there he's there. Our locker room. There we go. Dybala, El Shawari, Sula, Ferguson. It's cool that they're wearing their home kit as well. It'd be nice to see them wear that Celtic kit that they've got. But I don't suppose against our home kit, it would probably be a bit of a clash, wouldn't it? So we'll watch out for the team sheet coming out here and enjoying the sights while they're here. And yeah, so we'll wait for the Roma team to come out, but Celtic is unchanged coming into this one. I've just loaded this straight from default, so good evening to you all, but it will say Hitati and Maeda. I normally change it all before we get stuck into this. We will need to change scales, I think, won't we? Because we just have to coming into this tonight. We need the big man to be full-on Scaldini. He's going to be back in the middle of this back three now. This is, certainly going to be interesting. I did say on the preview that the manager might have viewed Tuneki's performances like on the knife edge of being like actually rather effective, because that kind of, like, if we can maybe move the dots around a wee bit here for how we're expecting us to shape up. Box midfield, I'm very excited about in this type of situation. With Yang and Tuneki playing 2 positions, the manager discussed a few things that we spoke about in the breakdown, how we like built as a back 4 at times, quite often, whether that be with either Engels and Negren or on occasion, maybe it would have been Tuneke filling in here, or sometimes Yang. But we actually had a lot of options to kind of make this into a back four, which, it'll be interesting to see how that develops actually through the game. But Yang and Tuneke, it never really became a five. They never really had both of them ever building out from the back in any real significant way. If one came back, the other one was almost a polar opposite end, so it'll be interesting to see that kind of dynamic maybe being reinforced after training and all the rest of it. My main worry coming into this game is Daizen Maeda against this back three. He's going to have to be at the top of his game tonight. There's just no room for anything else. Absolutely none. This defense, could chew him up. Honestly, if we get non-peak Daizen, I'm not. I fear for who the chances fall to. Perhaps is how we sit right now. I'm quite confident we'll be able to get some chances, because as much as Hearts did try and play onto us, and we'll check Roma one more time. Can we maybe see their lineups? It will really help think about how they're going to try and look at us and how they look at the game. But no, we've not got it yet, so we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. But I do, it's not going to be too far away from the expected here. But with the box midfield potential, and if they're playing wing backs, this is like a game of chicken. If this guy Celtic is going to bomb up and down, I really did highlight him. He's got a great name, and a few of you were asking that we sign him and stuff like that for right wing back. Wouldn't be a bad move at this point, but probably out of our price range. Needless to say, he is very effective. He's very attacking, and I just don't see any world where they don't try and put him on the ball quite a bit. So it will be about catching him out, and if we can kind of handle him with Tuneke being on the balance, or being on off the leash ready to go, if they blink, we could take advantage of them essentially in the wide areas. And the same thing can be said otherwise. If we do go overcommitted, the guys that they'll have, Simicast is here, but it's more than likely going to be the boy Wesley, isn't it? Between him and Celtic, left and right, this is an area where if we get caught with our pants down, if we get caught out of position, it's all hands to the pump. It's battle stations. Get the ball out for a throw in, take somebody down, take the yellow, whatever it is. Just don't let them peel away. Don't let them get the ball, their key players in and around the box, in and around the final third. Especially if we do even have something like Tierney advancing on and he's recovering back in. Just opens up some of this space even more potentially. So it's nice to see a bit of consistency from the manager. It's good to see that he's trying to start with the team as he means to go on. And I think that's a really good approach to the team. First goal is vital. We did mention that in the preview as well, and I think that's very much worth echoing. Great comment. Thanks to everyone that's tuning in live and loud, by the way. Fist bumps to you all. Please do hit the subscribe button, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Support the content here as best you can. It really does mean a lot to us here. So yeah, the wide areas will be a game of chicken, and it's going to be quite crucial, I think. And yeah, I really want to see this box midfield really kick into gear and work. I think Engels and McGregor, I think it's got all the ingredients you want for it to click in and be effective. And at home, if it does go Cristante and Quinny, we're going to be against two really effective defensive midfielders. And Quinny's got both of them have got really good engines. Calling them defensive midfielders maybe is a bit unjust, but with this overload in here, we really should be able to, drag some interesting shapes into their team and try and create a bit of space to get out with, and very quickly be on the front foot to go and attack with. We've got 4 on screen here, but there was lots of occasions. Again, Tuneke's always going to be on the half turn, isn't he? Ready to go. Attacking with 5 against a back 3, we should, if we can get behind that line there, we should be able to twist and turn, make them move one way, make them move another. And I don't mean that as in terms of horseshoey, but if we're breaking, for example, down the left, first thing obviously is going to happen this, but if you switch over to this guy, you've got a wee bit of duck and cover and run over, then the cutback's on. You can create lots of different movements. And I think that's what the manager is going to try and exploit. He's an admirer of Gasperini. And the manager, by the way, and full credit to Wilfried Nancy in the pre-match, I kind of failed to highlight it in my own preview, and I did mean to, but he is a Champions League finalist in North America, and, for what that's worth, fine. But being an MLS club, especially against Mexican teams, it's not as if they're just playing teams from Haiti and Panama and stuff like that. It's predominantly America versus Mexico, and Mexico's generally got a lot more money and better players, as a sweeping generalization, and it's pretty accurate for the most part. It's maybe not quite the case right now as a sweeping statement, but the point stands. So he's not unfamiliar with welcoming a big team with more money and better resources and all the rest of it to town in a must-win continental affair. He is French as well, of course. He totally understands the UEFA Cup, the Europa League, and everything around it. And he's an admirer of Gasperini. He is going to be well aware, like the kind of football kind of man you expect Wilfried Nancy to be the way he kind of carries himself is he's going to know how Gasperini wants to play, sort of triggers he likes to try and teach his teams into. It's probably something similar to what he has worked out as well. And it is going to be a good old fight. Last time we played Gasperini's Atalanta, Brendan Rodgers went for a very different game plan, very solid game plan, it must be said, for the night result. But this is going to be a very different occasion. And I think being at home under the floodlights, I mentioned the weather before, it's absolutely beautiful tonight, suits this. A wee slip of the grass. The referee will be interesting. The referee's always interesting in these European matches because it's not domestic. You don't really think about it that often going into the game. But see, as soon as the game starts, sometimes you can be like, oh, this ref is, actually, we've had one or two refs that haven't been too bad to us recently at Celtic Park, which has been nice, but it's not always a given. And there's a lot of chat coming in, guys. I'm trying my best to keep up with it. And yeah, Matthias Sula, I seen Matthias Sula play for Rosanoni. It must have been like 2 or 3 seasons ago at this point. He was owned by Juventus at the time. Really good player. Really good player. Him alongside really the whole Roma team is injury prone. This is like who's fit and basically the best defence that's fit and available. I'd probably say the best. They've not got a left mid. Maybe that is maybe not too influential, but they're missing their main centre forward, big Dovbike. But anyway, Pellegrini's got a bit of fitness now. Sula's a bit fit. So's Dybala. All very talented. And I was saying I think I said it in Baz's live chat, One Celtic Fans View. Check them out on YouTube. Baz is a good guy. This is the best front three we're going to be facing. If we can actually bloody see the front three that they're naming tonight, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Come on, Roma. Oh, amateur hour. Now I'm going to check. I've got Roma English here. Yeah. These websites or these accounts normally have them all linked to Simulpost. Roma. Delaying with the team sheet, man. The show must go on, as they say. But Negren, we've got all the ingredients for this to work well for us. That's one thing I kind of want to. But again, it's this channel, it's this space between defence and midfield, especially if we are letting guys really go forth and attacking. The way Scales was defending against Hearts is he was really like on the start line, waiting for the gun to go off, and he was really ready to engage people as soon as they started turning and going towards defence. And that could be quite effective, I suppose. We really need Trusty to be sweeping in. And depending on how they set up, because if it's Baldanzi, I'm not really too up on this guy. I expect it to be more Dybala. But if it's somebody like a Dybala and a Pellegrini, they're probably going to try and come in here and help the boys match up and leave Bailey, Sula, maybe even Pellegrini. Maybe it's Sula that comes in here. It's on the other side. Is the pace, is the creator to get into a pocket of space to exit with and then go forward and attack, from that sort of position with. So it's going to be, watching in this space here. And, do we need in these games before we can run the risk of giving the opponent too much respect? I'm not too sure Nancy will do that. But again, the game of chicken phrase comes into my mind once more, because if we do let Tierney go forth and all the rest of it, maybe even Trusty gets a bit higher up the pitch to shut down a channel because Yang's all the way up here. And maybe, like you can see the way this can work out quite quickly. You could be asking some big risks quite quickly of the back three. Interesting to see how it goes. I really want to see the Roma team. I feel like I'm just going to... Roma Twitter has a team now. Love it. 7 o'clock. There we go. So we have Svilar, Mancini, Indica, Hermoso, Selic, Elanoui, Pisili, Wrench. That is a bit of a different team, by the way. I'm going to need to swap that around for a minute. Let me hide Celtic. So no Wesley, no Pellegrini. Wow, no Coney, no Cristante. Is that right? Elanoui's not too unexpected. Coney, Cristante, Celtic there, Baldanzi. He's not there, is he? No, it's Ferguson that starts. Yeah, I don't think it's a huge surprise, is it? Sula plays, doesn't he? Yeah, Sula plays. Dane Wrench, not a massive surprise. So let's see, we'll get Wrench, Elanoui, Ferguson, Pisili, El Shawari. El Shaarawy attacking from the left, Sula on the right. Pasili must be in the middle. Elanawi is a central midfield player, like a playmaker. And Wrench is normally like a right-sided player, but I guess they must be playing him left. They must have some I did tell you they're injury prone. And Evan Ferguson will be running the line here. So it'll be interesting to see how this actually does shape out on the pitch. Maybe Pasili's wide and Wrench is in the middle. I could maybe see that being the case. I see I'm not too up on Pasili myself. Wrench playing in here would be a big surprise. Don't think they could really play any of their back three in midfield, but this is the way it goes. Evan Ferguson, he'll be right up for this, man. So yeah, expect a big performance from him. Sula and El Shaarawy. El Shaarawy seen as the cup specialist, if I can say that. A weird tongue twister for some reason. No Dybala or Cristante. Yeah. Let's see the bench for Roma. It is maybe in the comments. It's not on the graphic. They're not telling us the bench. Roma, man. They're really enjoying Glasgow. Do you think they're sauced up? Maybe if we check like flash scores or something, we'll get a bench. Rangers are drawing 1 each with Ferencváros. Robbie Keane, eh? Robbie Keane. He's still there, isn't he? He's no left for Wales or nothing. No. He's still there. Do we know any of their team? Not particularly, I don't think. That's so funny. I actually forgot they were playing on the early kickoff. That's good fun. Let's see. Celtic Roma. Do we get a Roma bench onto this? Oh, go away. Clicking the wrong bits. Angelino. Yeah, well, I've seen him there. Leon Bailey, Cristante, Dybala, Manu Cote. Yeah, all the weapons are on the bench. Wesley, Pellegrini. They can make 5 subs. This is going to be a very interesting affair. Now, we've got a really good chance here of starting. Scales versus Ferguson is a battle for the ages already. You can feel it, can't you? With that being the front three, Sula and Shaarawy, Ferguson, that's a lot of pace in it. That is a lot of pace. That's going to ask us. It's a real game of chicken, guys, isn't it? It's really going to, because if Yang and Tuneki come back, you're just inviting these guys onto you, and then like the midfield. Like you see with us, they only need one of these guys to come forward and support, and you've got 6 guys to deal with in an attack all of a sudden. And they've still got good positions, still got good numbers and quality, even in their own defence here. So, and we're set up the exact same way, If Tuneki stays brave and tries to keep this, he'll need to be really brave here. But if he does, or maybe if they find him in space because he is loose, we're asking guys to play 2 positions and shut him down. We have to know that he's the guy to then get the ball to and make sure that all of that counts if it happens, and we somehow work the ball into the back of the net. I did say I find it really hard to predict Celtic losing a game. Like, I can't just bring myself to say it. And I went with a 2 each draw. I'm not too sure how this game is going to go, but I, again, remain firm in the belief that there's going to be goals in this one. It's going to be really intriguing. This is just going to be a game of who blinks. Elanawi is a bit of a playmaker type guy. He's been signed in from France, and it was expected that he would play alongside one of those guys of the 2 I both would have thought started, Quinny and Cristante. So him playing with Wrench makes a lot of sense. And I say Pasili, when I put him in here, I don't think he's a centre mid. I think he is a wide player. Because I don't think you'd be playing Wrench left mid. So I think this guy's a left mid, maybe even a left back. He might be a bit more defensive, and Celtic is really off the leash. So you might even notice the kind of the tilt in the Roma team. And Yang will be right up for that. El Shaarawy versus Trusty out in this channel here could be a big feature of the game. And Wrench is a defender for all intents and purposes. You're probably going to find him quite wide, with Elanawi being the guy that is the playmaker that's making triangles and linking all this stuff up. So again, Engels and McGregor will be on patrol for him. Which means then between Hatate, who again, if Hatate finds himself in this zone, I think we'll see the same problems of the Hearts game. We won't feel the numbers when we spring forward. He has to kind of, allow different things to happen by being here, doesn't he? Yeah. I think I'm going to talk myself into some circles. I really still can't call this game. I've really got no idea how it's going to go. I do see goals for both sides. The goalkeepers are going to be massive. I can't say that enough. And my initial worry, I'll say it again when I see the team sheet coming out, is where the chances fall in this game. Like if we get a few chances fall to Negren, I'm quite happy with that. Same with Hatate. Maeda right now, like he needs to take the first chance it comes to him. We need Super Saiyan Dyson Maeda to show up tonight. Like no two ways about it. That blonde hair, he needs to get some of the thickest gel possible, and he needs to spike it all the way up. And he needs to come into this game ready to absolutely go at it tonight. Absolutely go at it. We're talking about how strong the Roma bench is. Our bench has to play as big of a role tonight, you would think. Now whatever that means, we'll see as the match goes on. But Balakwisha, Iheanacho, McKeown, I'm looking at above all else. Johnny Kenny's obviously in the picture too. But regardless of where the game's at, you would imagine they come into the game at some point, and what do they offer? What can they offer in this shape, in this system? Do we see Donovan used at this level? Same with Murray, or even Ralston at centre-back potentially. Bookings could happen and change the game as well quite early on in the match. So, yeah, I really don't know how to call this. I did say I think Engels is the one that could be on for a big game. I stand by that, and I think, like, if it is Elanawi to get by, I'm not really too. I don't want to like jinx anything, so I'm not going to finish that sentence, right? You know, and I think if we can get our foot on the ball in and around this space here, we've got enough quality. We've got enough quality to get them turning and running, and ask them some big questions. But these guys, you really need to get them turned. They will. They're just a very good back three. The goalkeeper's phenomenal. You just have to be on point. Creating chances might be the problem here. And yeah, that's the point as well. If they get the first goal, then it makes life a lot tougher for us, because then this whole game of chicken, they're winning it now, all of a sudden. And they're still dangerous if they turn the ball over, because El Shawari and Sula will not be mad tracking back. I'm sure they'll do their bit, obviously, and they're not going to abandon ship for the team or anything. But they're not going to be far from jumping, So the first goal, somebody said it earlier, I think for morale, I said it for the Hearts breakdown, that I felt that without the goal that brought the crowd into the game, we never really got going with the good play that we did create in the opening stages of the match, and we really need to make that right this time around. We need to take the chances that come to us early, if and when we get them, of course. So, yeah, looking forward to this. I think from my predicted 11, I had us making one change, and I said we would go Yang left and bring Donovan right. Actually, turns out that would have been a bad move, because if they are playing Pisili, who I think from memory I'm kind of perceiving as like a leftish back, Celtic is like a right wing back, but he is like attacking. He's like Frimpong, like he is attacking down this shape. That's the sort of player that you can imagine in the system, if you like, So playing a Donovan here would have maybe been a bit redundant. So don't mind that the manager stuck with this, but Tuneki versus Celtic, all eyes on this. All eyes on this. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings now. Who's going to be man of the match? What's your score predictions? Hit the like button. Let me know. I'll try and catch up with the chat at the moment, see what you are saying. But I need you to fire it at me now. Are you more optimistic now after the manager's named the same team? He's named the same team. We've had good training session. We've had some time together. Manager's feeling positive. The players are maybe feeling in a good space coming into this. Engels 30-yard screamer. Wouldn't rule it out, by the way. Long shots work against these types of teams, like if you've got guys that can take them. And Engels, like, has got form. Again, we've been highlighting on the channel quite consistently, even before he scored that goal under Martin O'Neill. But once a game, he gets a chance, Engels, And it's funny. I've kind of, I don't know, I don't want to liken him to any players, because I don't think he distinctly really... I think in the role, we've mentioned the Kimmich-Goretzka thing. I think even in the past, I've maybe even said, like, somebody like Kroos should be somebody that he looks to in terms of a model, a profile to maybe stretch his game to. And the thing with like Kroos is every game I ever watched Real Madrid, once a match, maybe twice if he was feeling good or the opportunities came, Kroos would shoot from like 40 yards, and he would score like 2 or 3 a year, and you'd be like, oh, Kroos does it again, And Engels in a similar way with like headers in the box, like once a game, he finds himself with a sitter, and he's scored like 1 recently, maybe missed about 3 or 4 this year. So, maybe it's a 30-yard, or maybe that's what he needs to do. Maybe he needs to mix it up and have some of those McGregor longies into his repertoire. If only Engels could keep his shots low. That's a really good point, by the way, because thinking about his shots, like they are like rugby conversions, aren't they? Yeah, you're definitely right there, Glasgow Harley Rider. But we're here for the match, you know. Like there's not a transfer window before the whistle, you know. But yeah, if we do well in this game, I think the midfield will be a big feature of it in terms of the rotations and how we're able to kind of maybe like pull them out of position and really feel that we're attacking in numbers quite often. And Hatate, again, alongside Negren, really put the team on their shoulders when they're playing. They get the chance to play together. That's happened quite a lot under Rodgers. That should be a bit of a good partnership in there, you would think, alongside Maeda in that kind of press and attack position. And Engels and McGregor have just been forging a pretty good partnership under O'Neill. So there's kind of like two really good elements of two previous teams here coming together, which Nancy's opted for now for the second game in a row. So again, I think Engels I highlighted pre-match when I said 2 each, and there would be one change to the starting 11. And again, I'm not really seeing too much that makes me think differently because I think physically, Elanawi and Wrench are guys that our midfield can get around. We can do well against them. I was way more worried about Kone and Cristante, but again, depending on how the game goes, they've got a really strong bench, and how does the game evolve will be really interesting. We'll be back on the channel tomorrow, and we'll be doing a breakdown. I'll record it tonight or first thing in the morning, but we'll have a breakdown on the channel tomorrow of how we go against Roma. We'll also have a preview for the cup final going out probably again then on Saturday. So plenty of content coming at you thick and fast. I guess that means there'll be nothing on Sunday unless I pre-record something actually. Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. And then we'll have Monday Cup final breakdown, and we're back into it again as we rattle through the festive period. Everyone, we've had some great feedback on the content recently. Thanks again to the boys at Huddle Breakdown that joined me for a collaboration on the channel. We've not done any collaborations on the channel up until that point, and I'm hoping we can do a few more. So with your guys' support, hitting the like button, get into the comment section, join us for the live chat, letting your thoughts and feelings be known on the team, the game, the score, the transfers, everything that we're talking about goes a long way to supporting the channel. We can grow the channel, and the bigger the channel gets, the easier it is just to invite people on and we can do some stuff, So I'm glad you all enjoyed that. We'll try and do some more of it. But yeah, there's a bunch of easy content, or not easy, but what's happening. You don't need to think about it. You'll know like the day after a game, we'll probably have a breakdown and all the rest of it. Yeah, so stay tuned for all that. If you're going to the game tonight, travel safe, have a great time. Hail, hail, and Moan the Hoops. Bit of a motor mouth at the end there, sorry.